The alien descended from his planet to entertain us and experience an era and a journey. We are truly among the lucky ones to have lived through a story with moments of despair and moments of triumph. The story of the best talent in the history of football, from a child suffering from a growth hormone deficiency to an icon placed on the cover of a book about football forever, and after years and years. The new generations will have a reference and a source to develop their talent, and they will still not reach a quarter of what this creature has achieved. Dear viewer, you are now in for a visual treat, the complete story of Messi, from his birth in Rosario to raising the precious title at Lusail Stadium in the Qatari Bisht and winning the 8th Ballon d'Or in his career. Video. The first in the Messi Legend series was the date of birth of Lionel Andres Messi, the father of Lionel Messi. He was supposed to be upset, because he had a boy, because he had 2 boys before him. And he wanted a girl after the 2 boys. So imagine if the world had gone according to Cargi's whims. We wouldn't have seen the joy and miracle that Leo Messi played with in football, unlike his father. His mother, Celia, was the one who saw him as a child. Distinct from the rest of his brothers, Messi's father was passionate about football and a fan of the legendary Diego Armando Maradona, who was living his strongest period. From here, Lionel's love for the world of the beautiful game began. Not only his father loved the game, but the whole family, from his mother to his sisters to his grandmother, who could almost see the future and had terrifying confidence in the flea standing in front of her, and she told him, "You will be the best player in the world." One day, he went with his grandmother to watch a match for the local Grand Dole team, where his older brothers, Rodrigo and Mateo, played. And in that place, the first turning point in Messi's life occurred. The team was missing something. The match wouldn't start until the full lineup was in place. Here was the first influential decision in Messi's life. His grandmother saw that Messi was more excited than the children on the field, and she felt that if he went down, he would do something. But Messi, since he was young, has always had an introverted and shy personality, and that's why. His grandmother intervenes and makes the first assist in Messi's life. She asks the coach to let him participate, but of course the team coach looked at him and said, "No, his body is very weak and he won't be able to handle any contact, especially since he's smaller than the rest of the players." But his grandmother insisted that he participate from the end. She told the coach to put him down and see because, after this sentence, Leo takes to the field and decides to give the people of Rosario a glimpse of the horror that history will witness in the coming years. You know when you're in a football match and you bring in a little kid just to make the squad and he starts to sweep you and your friends off your feet? That's exactly it, what Messi did to the opposing players, the coach said about that moment. Then I gave him the shirt, and it was so big on him, you would think he was wearing a dress. He was standing there shyly, but as soon as his foot touched the ball, I saw the wonder with my own eyes. This is my friend. He was passing like a hare from the players and dribbling. The team's coach was also in a state of shock. I found him in the same situation. It was clear that Leo Messi was constantly insulting the defenders who were trying to get close to him. This insult was not aimed at harming his symptoms, because all Messi does is enjoy his favorite sport, and his enjoyment of it is greater in itself than an insult to anyone who tries to take his beloved from under his feet. Messi's talent turned Rosario upside down and he joined the biggest club in the city, Newell's Old Boys, in 1994. The 7-year-old Messi became the main engine of his Old Boys team, which used to win with John and Jane and team. With Messi, he started winning by 6 and 7. Lionel Messi's love for football was everything in his life and his talent was developing frighteningly every day, but something unexpected happened. His family noticed that all children from his age were growing at a very normal rate. Their height and size were increasing. Messi, who was 10 years old, had a body. He's still 5 years old and the situation isn't reassuring. They ran tests on him, and that was the shock that struck Jorge and Celia, his father and mother. They discovered that Messi has a growth hormone deficiency, and that his body will remain stable no matter how old he gets. I mean, you see the Turkish coxswain. Messi would have been, like coxswain. The best description of Leo's condition at this time is that he has great talent, but is stuck in a limited body. The only solution to treat this problem is to inject him with growth hormone externally. This treatment will be very expensive, approximately $1,000 a month, and the family's financial situation was weak and impossible to fully support. In 1998, the shocking news came of the death of his grandmother, his favorite person and the first to believe in his talent. It was a truly huge shock. From that moment until now, every goal Messi scores, he must dedicate it to his grandmother and raise his hands to the sky. His father was struggling to cover the costs of Lionel's treatment. The situation became more difficult as time passed. The last resort was to ask Newell's Old Boys to cover the full cost of the treatment, but since the club is local and its financial capacity is somewhat weak, and Messi is not even 12 years old yet, the situation was dangerous for the club's management and there was a big risk. In a second attempt, Jorge made an offer to the biggest club in Argentina, River Plate, to sign him. Signing Messi for the treatment fee, and the club was very impressed with Messi, and their offer was to pay half the treatment costs, and that wasn't enough. Here, everything was about to end, until a brilliant idea came to the end: Europe, the country where he had relatives and spoke the same language. Spain at that time. In Spain, one of the most beautiful and touristic cities in the world is Barcelona, the city famous for its sea, independence, football, and Johan Cruyff. In the late 1980s, Johan Cruyff took over Barcelona's coaching with a distinctive style and introduced the Dutch school to Spanish football for the first time. That he has a great deal of credit for shaping the Barcelona style that still exists today and which later spread throughout the continent. Cruyff is the one who left the greatest mark on the history of the Catalan club. During this period, Johan Cruyff took great care of Barcelona's youth and had a large farm. There was an empty area behind the club and the word farm in Catalan means touch. Cruyff decided that the youth team would train there. Over time, the farm became known for its touch. Barcelona's Youth Academy. Developing touch was one of the club's most important goals. Barcelona's plan was to bring out a generation that is skilled and well established in football. Of course, this plan will greatly benefit the club when a talented player graduates from your academy. It is much better than buying a deal for millions. After years of establishing the club, the place has flourished and grown and has become. The club is interested in young talents, especially from South America, and fate would have it that at the same time in Barcelona, a video was being shown at the touch facility of a young player with an unusual talent. His name was Lionel Andres Messi, the Great, but his illness was a source of concern for the club's management. Added to this, he was only 13 years old and his father will be with him as a guardian or escort, and this will of course increase the costs for the club. The deal is on the verge of failure, on the one hand, and on the other hand, the coach who conducted the test for Messi is insisting and saying, if we don't sign this guy, we will regret it. Here, one of the most important figures appears that in Messi's life, and with Karim Reksac, the club's management said that the last chance in the deal was for Messi to play a trial match in front of the sporting director Karim Reksac, and that's what happened. Messi entered the match, naming all the players, and began to spread his magic on the field with his first touch, but a 13-year-old player is clearly different. Sports director Karim Reksac said he was very talented and that his first touch captured him. His father took him to a restaurant in the neighborhood, and in his haste, he didn't have a piece of paper with him. He wrote on a napkin, "Messi will be signed," even though some people in the administration weren't happy with him. An objector and his treatment costs from A to Z are on the club's account. Reksac says that I still have this handkerchief to this day, and this is where the Argentine boy's journey with Barcelona began. Messi began his career with touch, and in the beginning, he was an ideal subject for bullying from his teammates. As I mentioned before, his height and size were smaller than average when compared to other players of the same age group, but with time, he proved to everyone in the academy that the future of football was his, and Messi delivered legendary performances that made him the first touch star in record time. The coach tried Messi in all attacking positions, but the place where he noticed that Messi was most effective was in. Before, his height and size were smaller than average compared to other players of the same age group. But with time, he proved to everyone in the academy that his football future was his, and Messi delivered legendary performances that made him the star of the evening in record time. The coach tried Messi in all attacking positions, but the place he noticed Messi showed all his potential was behind the striker, dribbling and passing, and if he reached the goal, he would still be there. With time and Lionel's commitment to the treatment, which was very effective, his growth began to return to normal. Messi reached the age of 14, and his treatment period was successfully completed. The club began providing him with nutritional and training plans that supported his extraordinary talent. The club's amazement at the Argentine boy increased every day, and they knew that his rise to the first team was just a matter of time. When the first team includes Lionel Messi, I won't tell you what would happen after 3 years with the academy. First team coach Frank Rijkaard came to prepare Barcelona team training with him to choose a number of names to promote to the first team. After attending the training, the selection was, there was a discussion and the Flea was promoted to the first team in November 2003. From here began the story of the genie who was summoned and no one would know. Messi finally made it to the Catalan first team and officially became a player in the first division, La Liga, after a journey of difficulties, and the challenges, and I would like to tell you that you have an appointment with a legendary story that is just beginning in the second part of the story. We will talk about a very important stage in great detail. In it, the character of Pulga was formed during the era of the Dutchman Frank Rijkaard, and in it he lifted the first La Liga title and the first Champions League title in his life, and also we talk about the first confrontation between the two giants of football, Ronaldo and Leo. It will be released when this video reaches 10,000 likes. Go ahead and hit the like button. Your like is dear to your brother, and don't forget to subscribe.